Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about the match between Sevilla and FC Barcelona. This is going to be a game where we are going to be playing for the Copa del Rey semi-final match within the first leg. So yes, this is going to be a match where there is going to be two legs involved. The first game is going to be played away in Barcelona's perspective, and in the second leg Barcelona is going to be playing at home. But tomorrow Barcelona is going to be visiting Sevilla. This is going to be Koeman's biggest chance to win a title in this season, and this is also going to be one of the tournaments where the next president or the sporting director is going to be evaluating Ronald Koeman's results within this tournament and then analyze whether he should be in this position within the next season, yes or no. And seeing what's at stake here, seeing the amount of games Barcelona has to be playing and analyzing the type of transition Ronald Koeman has to implement in this season, if Koeman can win the Copa del Rey with this Barcelona squad under these circumstances, this is going to greatly help Koeman's continuity after this season does end. And going up against Sevilla, it is going to be one of the hardest teams Ronald Koeman is going to be facing so far in this season. Because if we were to analyze Sevilla and the type of team they truly are, this is a Sevilla team that has worked very well under a great manager named Lopetegui. And what we are going to be doing here is analyze what type of team Sevilla is, and so we are going to be getting the sample from La Liga, not the Copa del Rey, because when you do have more data and more sample coming from a league season, you get to truly understand just what type of team they really are. And looking at the stats here for Sevilla in La Liga, they are considered as the second best team when it comes to conceding goals in La Liga. They do concede a total of 0.8 goals per match, which is absolutely great. If you compare that to Atletico Madrid, who is currently in first place, they concede a total of 0.6 goals per match. Then if we were to look at the clean sheets that Sevilla does put out on the field, they are also in second place with a total of 9 clean sheets so far within La Liga. If you compare that with Atletico Madrid, they do have a total of 11 clean sheets within La Liga. So you can see that Sevilla is almost on par with Atletico Madrid, who we all know does have one of the greatest defense in Europe. And the fact that we can put Sevilla in the same sentence as Atletico Madrid, the attack of Barcelona are going to have to be on their absolute best. They're going to have to be very clinical if they want to score 1 to 2 goals up against a very great defensive side like Sevilla. And you look at the key players that make Sevilla stand out in this way, they do have defenders such as Diego Carlos, Sergi Gomez, Acuna, Navas, and their star center back, who everybody knows about, is Koundé. Koundé has been considered as the heart of Sevilla's defensive line so far in this season, and he has been playing absolutely well. In fact, he has been playing so well, I kind of personally do want Koundé in Barcelona because of how great of a center back he truly is. But nonetheless, Barcelona is going to have to be at their absolute best. There is no reason to put our guard down up against a great Sevilla side. Now, here is where it does get very interesting, because it says here, according to Sevilla's coach, he has explained in the pre-match press conference that players such as Oscar Rodriguez, Marcos Acuna, Ocampos, and Jesus Navas are all going to be out for the match between Sevilla and FC Barcelona. And if you were to look at this list here, right, of the players that are going to be missing up against FC Barcelona, these are very important players for Sevilla's starting 11. And notice the amount of players that are going to be out in Sevilla's squad list, and that is going to be the direction I do want to head towards too, because I do believe that there are many players right now that are currently not healthy, and that is going to be regarding all of the teams out there in Europe. You look at a team like Liverpool, who have players like Van Dijk missing, Matip missing, Joe Gomez missing, Jota missing, Keita also a player that is missing. These players are out for Liverpool due to injury. You look at Real Madrid, who have Rodrigo missing, Sergio Ramos missing, Eden Hazard, who is also missing, Carvajal, Valverde, Vasquez, Militao, and many other players that are currently missing for Real Madrid. And so you can see that teams like Sevilla, Real Madrid, Liverpool, and many other great clubs out there are suffering from many injuries within the squad list. And now that we are here, as for FC Barcelona, Barcelona are now heading towards that path. And if we were to look at the squad list here, you can see that players such as Serginho Dest is going to be out due to a right thigh injury. Pjanic is also going to be out due to a left foot injury. And then we also do have Martin Braithwaite, who is going to be missing in this squad list due to a right thigh problem. And then as for the previous injuries, we are also going to be having Sergio Roberto, who's going to be out. Ronald Araujo, who is probably the most important player for Barcelona right now, is going to be out. And then we also do have the other players who have encountered an injury last year, like Felipe Coutinho, Gerard Piqué, and Ansu Fati. So clearly things are not looking well for FC Barcelona. And it's very clear that Barcelona are going through that exact same way, like again, the teams like Sevilla, Real Madrid, Liverpool, and many others out there in Europe. And so it's going to be extremely hard for Ronald Koeman to find that ability to gel in a great starting 11 that could actually work. And what certainly did not help regarding these injuries for Barcelona is that Ronald Koeman has been demanding a lot from these players, and that's not a bad thing. When we are talking about a coach demanding the work ethic from certain players, that is a great thing to hear. We want Barcelona to work hard and act like they want to represent this team. But under these circumstances, seeing the amount of games these players have to go through, when you mix those two things up, that is eventually going to lead towards many injuries. And one of the players that I do want to focus on is going to be about Ronald Araujo. This is the center back that has been talked about the most out of all players missing for FC Barcelona. And we do have some new updates regarding this player, and it says here, according to Javi Miguel, Ronald Araujo wants to face PSG next week. His plan is to join the group on Monday. He will see how his sensations are going to be going on Tuesday morning, especially during the activation session. So it is quite clear that Araujo does want to be available for the match against PSG. Koeman in the pre-match press conference has also said that he does not want to rule anything out, that Araujo could be featuring in that game. And so everything is looking very 50-50 at the moment. But I do want to say two things regarding this report. Number one is going to be this: Ronald Araujo is not going to be playing in that match against Sevilla. That is going to be 100% clear. He is not going to be there. There has been reports that Araujo could be returning early due to the history of Ronald Araujo. Araujo has shown many times that every time he does encounter an injury, he can recover very, very fast. And one of the solutions that could help Ronald Araujo, according to many sources, for his current injury is to take painkillers. Now, here's where I do find the problem. I do not think it would be a great idea to use painkillers in order to advance Ronald Araujo's recovery for the match against PSG. Because if you do that, you are asking to have further trouble. Because if Ronald Araujo does take those painkillers and he ignores that something within his ankle is completely wrong, he is going to feel that right after. After that match against PSG, Araujo is going to be feeling even further discomfort that's going to greatly bother him for future games. And do we really want that? Do we really want to make that ankle injury much worse than it should be? And here's what really gets me very nervous about this topic here. When we talk about the coach, Ronald Koeman, forcing players on the field and trying to ignore the injuries that they have is very real. That is not a fake conversation. This is not a conversation of what if Koeman does that. We have actually seen that already happen before in this season. You look at Sergio Roberto, who recently came back from recovery. He has explained to Koeman that he feels 100% correct, and Koeman places him immediately within a game. You look at Serginho Dest, who has been playing in certain games with a right thigh discomfort, only to find out in the end after that game that Dest could not continue no more, and now he is out for a certain amount of matches. Then you look at Lionel Messi. Messi was also a player who was trying to battle a discomfort within his legs, but Messi continued to play. Koeman was completely fine with Messi playing, but he had to reserve himself on the field in order not to reach any potential injury. And then you look at the most recent one, and that is Ronald Araujo. And it says here, according to AS, it should be noted that Araujo has played against Juventus at the Camp Nou for a total of 82 minutes with a muscle discomfort, but he recovered in 24 hours. The player hopes to be ready for the PSG match. Now, what is this telling us? I do believe that Koeman is not afraid to use players who currently do have discomfort existing within their legs. If a player has some sort of discomfort, whether it's a right thigh injury, a ankle injury, a knee injury, and he tells Koeman that they feel alright, I have a great feeling that Koeman is also going to say, okay, if you feel fine, let's put you on the field. Again, why am I saying that? Because history has already told us that in this season. Now, Koeman has already explained that he is going to be counting on other players just in case, and one of those players is Mingueza, and he said this in the pre-match press conference. He has taken the opportunities and has played many matches in different positions. I have no hesitation to play a young player against PSG. His defending orientation is good, but he still has room for improvement. He's doing very well. So yes, Mingueza can be an alternative. Koeman is thinking about using this player greatly within the next few days, but this is also going to lead me towards my second point. Why in the world are we talking about PSG? I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in the pre-match press conference so far, out of everything that I have quoted, all of this has been revolving around the match between Barcelona and PSG. Tomorrow, we play against Sevilla. It's not going to be against PSG. So why in the world are everyone asking questions about PSG and FC Barcelona? There are many reports coming out between PSG and Barcelona, and it seems like Koeman does not mind on answering questions on whether this player is going to make it in time to face against PSG. It just seems like right now that the focus within this club is against against PSG and not against Sevilla, a game that we have not played yet. And that is a huge concern. That is basically telling us that the minds within these players is scattered, that they do not know what to focus on, whether it's Sevilla or PSG. So look, it is a huge concern, but we are here. And this is now going to lead us towards the starting 11, which is going to be the biggest conversation Koeman is going to be having within these next 12 hours. So what could Ronald Koeman's starting 11 look like without these group of players up against Sevilla? So here is going to be my starting 11. I do expect to see Marc-Andre ter Stegen in goal. I know that this is a Copa del Rey match, but looking at our defensive line options, we need security in that box. And that security and our best goalkeeper should be Marc-Andre ter Stegen. And then as for our defensive line, this will be the way I would line it up. I would like to see Jordi Alba as the left back, our center back pairing being Samuel Umtiti and Longley, and then have Mingueza as the right back. Now, looking at this defensive line, we have already explained this before, and one of the greatest tactics Koeman could do is to have Frenkie de Jong, who is going to be playing as the central defensive midfielder, drop down between Longley and Samuel Umtiti. If he can do that, I do not see any problem within that defensive line, because yes, it's true that if you were to just have Umtiti and Longley take charge of that defensive line, there is going to be a big probability that we could lose the ball under pressure. But having Frenkie de Jong within those two center backs, that is going to give more security, and it would also welcome pressure from the opposition, Sevilla, to pressure that defensive line. And when that happens and Frenkie de Jong has the ball, it is almost impossible to lose possession. That is exactly what we do want from Sevilla, is for them to press us very high in order for us to gain space on the other side of the field. And then as for our midfielders, I do expect to see Pedri and Riqui Puig become the interiors alongside Frenkie de Jong. Then as for our front three, I do expect to see Dembele as the right winger, Messi as the center forward, and Antoine Griezmann as the left winger. And there are going to be two key players that I do expect to come out in this match to do well in order for us to give us a great win. One of them is going to be Jordi Alba. I do believe that Jordi Alba has to have a great game up against Sevilla. You look at what he has been putting out in the past recent games. Every time he does play bad, Barcelona does end up suffering. If Jordi Alba can't play well, Barcelona would end up suffering much less. The second key player I do expect to stand out should be Antoine Griezmann. Antoine Griezmann, when performing well, is a great player. And when he is on top of his game, Barcelona do benefit from that a lot. And we have seen that, for example, in the match against Granada. And I do expect Antoine Griezmann to show up against Sevilla. But that's going to be it for today's Barcelona pre-match preview. Yes, it was a very different pre-match preview due to the amount of injuries that's currently going on in Barcelona. But we are not the only team that's suffering from this. But hopefully in tomorrow's game, Koeman can put the right starting 11 and we could come out with a great win up against Sevilla and then go into the second leg and completely close it out and go into the final. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.